5.2, all about constructors. So what we're going to do is, how do we construct a bank account object? There are two types: default constructor, non-default constructor. A constructor is simply created by using the name of the class itself, okay, and the word public in front in case we want to create this object elsewhere. So I'm going to put public bank, but this time in the second one, this is the non-default constructor. It takes in the parameters. Now I'm going to take in the parameters as the instance variables are up here. So I'm going to take in an int for the account number, and I'm going to take in a double for the balance and call it B. I'm going to take in the last name as a string, L name. I'm going to take in the first name as a string, F name. Now realize I'm naming these variables that I'm taking in as the constructor something different to the names up here, okay? Even though this guy is going to respond to the account number or correspond to the account number, that is a different variable to this, okay? This guy up here has what we call global scope. This one has local scope. And so these guys are going to do what is called pass by value, okay? This is going to pass the account number to him. He's going to pass the balance to him, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and continue putting them in. I like to go in order. So I went with account number, balance, last name, first name. So now I got to do address. I'll put A for address. Then I have to do string phone number. I'm going to put phone. And string email, I'm going to put E. So let me bring this all better much in view here. Let me kind of drop this down a little bit so everything is within view. So let's look again. We have the account number, okay, and the balance, and the last name, the first name, the address, the phone number, and the email. So you could use any local names that you want for the variables here, but we try to make them something that we can recognize them. So all you're looking at here, address is A, maybe we want to ADDR. And email, maybe we want to put something here like an uppercase M for mail. Just has to be different. Okay, so now that we have all this set up, we have our default constructor and non-default constructor. What does a constructor do? A constructor's job is to give these guys up here, the global guys, the blue variable as opposed to brown, a value. If you give these a value up in this guy, you're going to give them the default values. So let's see. That means account number needs to have a default account number. Okay, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this default account number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is dangerous, okay, because anybody who creates an account without giving me any data, it's going to be this number. And then the balance could be 0, whereas I'm using 0.0. I could have done 0, but this never happens. You kind of this int double, the system is going to turn this automatically into this, remember from earlier on. Then I'm going to do the last name. What's the default for these guys? Well, it's null, right? So default values are values that these instance variables are going to take on if you don't assign something, okay? So if I don't assign anything to these strings, they're going to all be null. So let's write them all out. First name is going to be null. As a matter of fact, any object would be null. And any integer would be 0. And any Boolean would be false. These are called default values. Now, you may say, well, why would you want to create this account? Well, this is creating the account as if the person don't have the information on them right now in the bank and they have to go home and come back with it. So we kind of have a placeholder, if you will, so that when they come back, we could always update these. But right now, they don't really have any money in the account. It's not a real account because we don't really use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as our account system. And these are all nulls because we don't know their last name or anything right now. So this is to be determined or to be checked out later. What about down here? Well, down here, since it's a non-default constructor, I should say, we actually have the values now. So that's going to be a ACC, right? This is going to be passing his value to him. And so balance is going to be passed the value of B, and L name is going to be passed to last name. And first name, let me pass F name. And address, going to be passed ADDR. And phone number, it's going to be passed phone. So this is getting actual values here and not any default values. So the difference between these two constructors is when this account is being creating a bank account, created with a non-default constructor, we got all the data. When we're creating it with the default constructor, we do not. So we got to use default values for these, and of course default names won't be the person's actual name. We don't have to make them null, but I'm using null just to remind you that these have default values. Even if I delete this, it's still in there. Let that one sink in. If I delete this, the system will still make this guy going to become 0. This guy is going to become 0.0. This guy is going to become null, 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 automatically. Now, I have some flexibility in that I could actually put in something. Like I could say, okay, open up an account. We're going to do a $10 balance, okay, as a default. For now, I'm going to go back with 0. The account number, if I did not put this, it would have done this for the system, okay? I'm putting a 0 there because that's the default int value. So I put this as my default. I put these as the correct default. And here, this constructor down here is set the right values. So this account will be all set up, okay? That's constructors for you. Now, the thing about these constructors here is that we do need them to construct instances of this class. So these are very crucial, and their job is to initialize all the instance variable. 5.2. That's a wrap.